And welcome to Liquid Lunch. We're back here on the show. We're talking about, we've been looking forward to this all week. James Borg is back. And Sandra, why don't you just tell us, we got a big show lined up. We're talking about aliens and disclosure.
We are. Today's show is very much dedicated to a movie called The Resonance, which is all about UFOs and disclosure, but not from a fear-based perspective. It's more from the perspective of, what are they here to tell us? What kind of changes do we need to make, moving forward? Obviously, they have information for us, and they have a message. So, what is that message, and how can we move forward with that message in a way that's positive and constructive and not destructive? So we can kind of, put a halt to what's going on with the planet the way it is today, because we know we're in trouble. So this is it's a very positive and motivational movie, but it does require you to expand your mind and be open to the idea that aliens and ETs, and I prefer to call them extraterrestrials, because I kind of think of aliens as negative. When we think of aliens, it's more about negative and fear, and for me anyway, when I think of ETs, I think of positive and interdimensional creatures and beings and things that are smarter, have more knowledge or more advanced than humans, and intelligent life that's beyond where we are, so we can really learn from that. And a lot of people are already very open to it. Even my family is starting to get open to it, and that's pretty darn amazing. I know the world's coming to an end when my family starts to actually talk to me about that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. It's part of the Vatican deception. Project Blue Beam.
Well, this is also a little bit what I would like to talk about, but so we have James here, who is amazing. He's got something called UFOria and UFO Chronicles, and he's all about alien abduction or ET presence. And then afterwards, James is going to stay on, and we're going to bring on Dr. Lana Marconi and Victor Vigiani, who are Dr. Lana Marconi is the director of a new movie coming out called The Resonance. It's a documentary film on ETs, and it's basically I guess a feature documentary, full-length documentary, with speakers who are very well versed, very well known in this industry, and have inside information. And so she's going to be talking a little bit about that. We're going to get to see a couple of clips from it, and she's also on with Victor Vigiani, who is one of the speakers in the film. So really, 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 really looking forward to all of that. It's very exciting. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the premiere, which we're having the launch November 21st, which you are going to be at, and James is going to be at, and I'm going to be at. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And we're going to have a Q&A afterwards, so people can talk to these experts. And you're going to be helping us live streaming it too, right, Hugh?
That's
right.
No
pressure.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So we're really at a great time, I think, now, where we are accepting, it's so commonplace. It's in movies now. It's in Hollywood. It's everywhere. And I think that it's not so shocking to the system to actually talk about this now. And you're really, there's a huge movement and momentum happening, and you're at the center of that, James, here in Toronto anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's active, that's for sure, in Toronto. Toronto's probably one of the most active cities in all the world right now for ufology and spirituality, right?
Yes. So, and why do you think that is?
A lot of, actually, before it all happened in the 1990s, a lot of psychics were moving to Toronto from all over around the world, right? There used to be in New York City, or New York State, there used to be a psychic little town. And a lot of the psychics moved from there to Toronto, and from all over the world, really, right? And then from then on in, spirituality started developing, and it became like a spiritual hub. If you look on, it used to have a Now magazine, and 20 years ago or 15 years ago, if you opened Now magazine, you'd see like these groups, like yoga groups, spiritual groups as far as learning subjects like regression and past lives and hypnotism, right? And it just became a hub, right? A metaphysical, spiritual hub, right? Toronto became.
Yes.
And you throw in a bit of love and resonance, and it's sort of like the 60s with a new twist, and it's become like a phenomenal learning place, like a mecca, right?
We're even at the point now, and James, this may be really far out, but probably not for you and your group, but are there actual ETs amongst us walking around?
Yes.
So we could be walking at the Eaton Center, for instance, and there could literally be walking behind us or past us, and we wouldn't even know. There
could be a few of them for sure. I wouldn't doubt it. And one day behind closed doors, I can teach you how to look for them.
So why would this be behind closed doors?
Well, you got to take baby steps, right?
Okay.
So let's take baby steps first, and we can resonate with that first, right?
I saw one on the subway. Started talking to me.
Male or female?
Male.
Male?
Okay, what did it
look
we'll
like?
take the bait, Hugh, okay? What did, it's, like knock knock, who's there? Okay, so what did this ET say?
Or he could have been one of those cloned MK Ultra super soldiers.
How big was he?
He was a normal size, he was youthful, skinny. But he had weird eyes.
I was just going to say, did he have? That's the teller, right?
The eyes tell no lies.
I know, and he was very strange, actually. I mean, it just my vibe was.
Did you have like a creepy feeling?
Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Kind of. I didn't.
Did he actually say anything to you?
Yeah, he. No, I forget. It was on the eastbound Danforth line, and. He was talking to me. He just started talking to me. Like, I didn't want to talk to him, but he was right there. And then he just started talking to me, and I just thought, I'm getting off next stop. Thank goodness, right? Because I was a little creeped out.
Always go with your intuition.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. So if your intuition tells you to get off next stop, there's a reason why you got to get off next stop.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
And did he happen to get off next stop?
No.
Because then you would have stayed on.
But it was like, I don't know, man. It was a weird. It was, who knows if there are aliens or what. I've met other people like that too, like like down on Queen Street in a bar, like this girl, she was like, but she could have been like just a kind of spun out space cadet.
See, that's the thing about Toronto. I think one of the reasons why, to your point when you were talking about all the psychics and Toronto has become a hub, Toronto's a multicultural city, one of the biggest, greatest multicultural cities in the world.
That's right.
And so if anyone can blend in being unnoticed, it would be, if anywhere, it would be in Toronto. Because you have different cultures, different backgrounds. So if you're not from here, it'd be less likely that you would be noticed if you're kind of like not quite human.
True.
Right. So
Las Vegas is another one.
Well,
only for
that's
the
a no-brainer.
Spontaneous circle events they have all the time. Right?
But they can always dress up as Elvis and no one would know.
Exactly. There's Elvis festivals going on. There's like ET stuff going on at any given moment.
Oh, yeah, Star Trek conventions. You could easily do it there.
Plus, Area 51's just around the corner.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Not too far away. I think it's a couple hundred miles, right?
Or
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. So, can you give any hints as to how we can possibly even notice them? I know you said we can have that a backdoor discussion, but number one, go with your intuition. So I guess that would be a sign, right? To always go with your intuition. If it tells you to get off, get off. Anything else that you can think of?
You just before you go out, if you want to have an experience like that, let's say you're gonna, for whatever reason, you're going downtown. Like, we live in the suburbs, so for us going downtown, it's like, okay, we're going to the city, and it's like a circus thing, right? You got to take the subway or drive in, right? And you're coming in this metropolis with 3 million people. So before your journey, after you get out of the shower, I don't know, maybe take 5 minutes and just meditate. Say, you know what? Today, I'm going to focus my manifestation on meeting an alien life form. Benevolent. But I throw in the benevolent life form. You don't want to meet anything bad, right?
This is a good point.
You got to be very careful with the words.
Yeah.
And then just let it be at that. And just let it flow. Let the universe bring it all to you. Right? It's like everybody talks about law of attraction and stuff like that, which is great. It's working hand in hand with that, right?
Okay, so I have a really interesting story to tell about seeing UFOs.
Okay,
so
cool.
I was traveling with a friend of mine. We were traveling to Peterborough, and I said, okay, I really, really, really want to see a UFO. And I said, okay, bring it on. I'm not afraid. I want to see a UFO. So I we were driving to Peterborough, and I thought this would be the best time, because it was late at night. You can actually see the stars. In Toronto, it's hard in the summertime to see the stars because of the smog and
light
that kind of
pollution.
thing. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so I thought, okay, it's going to be like 1 o'clock on our drive, and it was actually when we were driving back from Peterborough, and I thought, okay, so let's see them. So I was with my friend. I said, okay. As we got in the car, I said, okay, just like you said, let's bring them. I'm not afraid. Come, show me. And so we're driving back all the way to Toronto, and nothing. And I was looking for them. I'm driving. I'm looking to see if I can find them. Nothing. And so then sorry, everything okay?
No, go.
Okay. Okay. So then, I know you just can't wait to hear the rest of the story. So then I'm disappointed. No UFOs, no anything. The next night, I'm going for a walk in the park. I'm sitting there, and there is a stranger, a person I've never met before, and she's in a wheelchair, so she's disabled. And I feed stray animals. I feed stray cats and things like that. So I do that every night. So I was doing it in the park where I normally do. And she saw me. She goes, "Oh yeah, I see you here all the time. You feed the cats and stuff." And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You know what? You might think this is really weird. I don't even know why I'm telling you, but last night, my cat was acting really strange looking out the window, and I looked out the window, and there were these 3 UFOs.
Wow.
What?
It was the night I was looking for, and she said, and I said, "Oh my God, oh my," and she said, "I know you're going to think I'm so strange," and I said, "No, actually, I'm not," and I actually gave her a hug, because I knew what that was. So I gave her a hug, and I said, "I'm actually jealous of you, because I actually wanted to see them." And she said, "Well, I have it on my cell phone. I actually took it on my cell phone." And so she showed it, and you could see there were 3 lights, and they were playing with each other, and they changed colors. And so they went from yellow to red to green, and they were actually literally dancing and playing with each other.
Nice.
And so it was really quite amazing. But it was the night that I wanted to see them, the exact night, except I didn't see them. And I feel it's probably because I wasn't ready, and I would have freaked out. I think I really would have freaked out.
No, you've already invited them in. So it's like, to meet the ETs, there's a saying, you have to meet them halfway. So it's like you're writing an invitation out. You're like going to a birthday party. So you're going to write the invitations out for everybody, and you're going to hand them out and put them in the mail. So your invitation's already in the mail. It's already going out there. When they come is when they come. If you put a date on there, that might have affected things better, right?
Right. Okay.
But it's an open invitation. So.
But it was the actual time that I wanted. It was the actual night.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't me, and it took a complete stranger. A complete stranger to tell me this. And she even said, "You're going to think I'm crazy, and I don't even know why I'm telling you. I don't even know you, and I'm telling you this."
What did she say?
"I saw a UFO last night."
There's another thing about resonance, this film Resonance, and resonance of what's happening to you.
Yes.
You were there for this complete stranger to tell you about an event you were already trying to manifest the night before, and she had an experience on that night.
Yes.
You're complete strangers. And it all came together.
And she videotaped it so I could actually see it.
There you go. That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
Should have got the video. Should have encouraged her to post it on YouTube.
I should have. Actually, I really should have.
Yeah.
I was so stunned by that experience. I was so stunned that I didn't even think to do that. It just blew me away.
So what do these aliens want? Is that what we're talking about today? Because
they want us to awaken, Hugh. They want us to awake and live in peace and stop nuclear wars and be a loving, peaceful planet.
Aren't there bad aliens, though?
Yes, there is, and they're the ones that are ruling the planet, right? Unfortunately, right?
Like, who are they, and are they running like the U.S. government and stuff?
Pretty
like
much, I would think so. Yeah, definitely. They're definitely influencing, especially those guys. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
So.
So what do we do?
What do we do, or do we just wait and sit back?
I think the power is with the people, right? So it's what I admire. What everybody says, well, we need the UFOs to land on the White House lawn. Well, and then what? So they can shoot at them?
They already did, though.
They already did.
Actually, I got video here. Do you want to see that?
Actually, throw it on there. It's from 1952, you're saying, right?
This is it. Now, they're saying, some people say that this is actually, was when the U.S. Was surrendered to the UFOs. Was this in 1952? And
was that Eisenhower's time?
It was Harry Truman, I think, actually.
Okay.
What's going on here?
You know who's an expert on that? Victor Vigiani.
Well, who we're going to have?
Well, maybe we're going to...
on the show,
he knows a lot of stuff like that.
Here we go. This is the actual footage of the UFOs
Okay.
over Washington, 1952. And
There's the
there they
lights in the
are.
sky, yeah.
Now, some people say, though, that this was actually because... Now, James, actually, I do want to ask you about this. Okay, so that was it. A little...
Okay.
A little short.
That was a little...
That's real?
Anyway, that's real footage.
1952.
1952. Now, some
July
people say
12th.
this, James. In fact, I want to get into this because, you know, of course, World War II ended. 1946, Admiral Byrd
Hollow Earth.
went to
Antarctica, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he took a military that they told it the war was officially over. Of course, the bomb was dropped in 45. But 46, Admiral Byrd goes down to Antarctica. They said it was a scientific expedition, but he took a lot of troops. He took a lot of planes,
Aircraft
military
carrier.
aircraft, and apparently there was quite a few losses. Admiral Byrd apparently gave a news conference in Argentina saying that the next war would be fought by flying saucer aircraft that could travel between the poles in a matter of minutes. And then 1952, this is just a few years later, we see that a bunch of UFOs over Washington. Some people say that that incident was when the U.S. surrendered to whoever was flying those aircraft. Some people say that they were actually Germans who developed the flying saucer technology in the war, supposedly had a base in Antarctica that Admiral Byrd was sent down to wipe out. He got turned back, and that World War II was actually won by the Germans, who had this vastly superior
Hugh, there's
technology.
a lot of truth to what you just said there. I've researched the subject a bit too myself, and I can't discredit anything you said there. Whether or not they surrendered or anything like that, that's beyond my knowledge. But yes, I've read the stories, I heard the stories, I've seen the videos, and I tend to believe that. He later went to the North Pole years later. Right.
But how can you have this flying saucer technology without working with the aliens?
This is technology. How can we have jet planes without aliens?
But how can you have technology that's beyond without working from?
What do you mean beyond?
Well, I mean, when you're saying flying saucer technology, that would be advanced technology.
Yeah, but it might just be, maybe the Germans were just that much further ahead.
So it's not defying the laws of gravity or anything like that.
It's an anti-gravity technology. Well, I mean, it's a kind of propulsion technology that is beyond what conventional like jet aircraft rocket technology is.
So
right?
Now, if it is propulsion technology and not your typical technology, how did somebody just dream that up?
I mean, we buy into the concept, I think, that we develop jet technology and rocket technology without alien help. So if we can do that, then maybe...
But did we?
We can also develop, other
UFO
kinds of
material.
technology.
There was the Germans, if you actually research it, just punch it up on the internet, German technology from World War II, and we're punching planes or aircraft or flying vehicles. There's actually pictures and diagrams of craft.
I'm going to get one right here for us.
Yeah, there was the bell, German bell, I think it was called.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right here. Keep talking, James.
And it's quite amazing. The Germans were actually really advanced. They actually flew this bell thing. I don't know if they used it or not in the war, but they had it flying, and they had the technology. They had all the papers, the drafts on the building of these things. And I think they went into hiding. And the big rumor, a lot of them went to Argentina.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna pull up a.
And what's funny is Billy Meyer, right? The Billy Meyer UFOs. If you look at the ones that he took photographs of, they look a lot like a knockoff of these Nazi bells. There you go.
Can we here's a. This is we can just show this.
And Billy Meyer's in the Resonance, or Michael Horn, the representative.
Yeah, he's in the movie. Michael Horn's representative. Yeah. Billy Meyer representative.
And of course, we also have
nice guy, by the way.
This picture here, which is proof positive that
with a Zeta Reticuli.
That Hitler was meeting with UFOs.
That's a Zeta Reticuli.
That is not photoshopped at all.
That's a real picture. I think this is where this guy is giving Hitler the flying saucer secrets.
That's right.
So my contention is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the technology that we have, we kind of, we evolve and grow in our understanding of technology at a simple but regular, consistent rate.
Well,
and if we're doing this, and then all of a sudden we're shooting up like this with the technology.
Disagree. No, because if you look
how do you explain
That's
that?
the known technology, Sandra.
See, I just want to say too, if you look at technology, right, as a graph, I'm going to do it. Where's my camera? If you like a graph, I mean, we started, a graph. We'll start on this side. It's like things slow, and the curve is like this, right? It's one of those curves. It's slow, and then it goes like this.
Okay.
This is the level of complexity in terms of technology. I mean, that's where we're at, right?
Yeah,
in fact, even futurists like Ray Kurzweil, who now works at Google, is saying that we're going to reach a point called the, what's it called? The 0 point, or the, what's it called? He's got a point, it's called, anyway, where everything goes totally vertical, right? It's like singularity, that's what he calls it.
All right.
Then what happens then?
Then we move to the next dimension.
So that would be 0 point then.
Well, it's the next thing. We move into hyperspace. It's a blast into...
To move faster than the speed of light?
Who knows?
James? Knows?
No comment.
James. So, I mean, but here, I mean, on the one hand, we're talking about aliens.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's a whole other alternative view of UFOs, that they're actually maybe a German, or some say even the Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what to believe, James.
Okay, question. Russia.
Well, what's the question you want me to answer?
I don't know.
There's, as far as the Germans go, I believe that they had a helping hand with the Agarthians in Hollow Earth, and they have a base there. A lot of people know about that.
Inside
Antarctica.
Inside the Earth.
Yeah, inside Antarctica and through the North Pole.
Yeah.
Right? And there's numerous beings in there. There's the Dracos, reptilians.
So we're not talking benevolent. We're talking malevolent.
Unfortunately, they're all malevolent. Right?
Okay.
Now, I believe the people in Agartha, the ordinary citizens walking around, I believe they're good, but they're influenced by an evil aspect.
Well, that sounds a lot like the people on top of the Earth as well. Sounds like us, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Look, I have an actual picture of the German flying saucer.
There you go. Yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
Right?
That does not look doctored.
See, that's the rinky-dink UFOs. This is what everybody calls the rinky-dink UFOs, the nuts and bolts ones, right?
Yeah.
And
that's like one of the earliest ones, right?
Exactly.
So, okay, question for you guys. Russia.
Okay.
Okay, are they working with them?
I think Russia's doing some fantastic things right now.
So that's what I'm saying. So it almost seems like Russia is alone and not getting a heck of a lot of support from the rest of the world.
I don't know about that one, Sandra. If we went to Europe right now, we got on a plane and we went to Finland or Sweden or Germany or wherever, right? And outside of the North American news media, I think the consensus, the whole wide world, is on Russia's side right now in what they're doing and supporting, right?
Interesting.
It's just that we're not being fed that consensus, right, because of the media here in North America.
Interesting.
Even South America, it's wide open. You turn on the news, they have UFO reports. Mexico, you have UFO reports almost every day, right? Jaime Mason, right? He's a leading ufologist in Mexico. And they're not shy to post UFO reports on a daily basis as they happen. So if somebody has the film and they send them to the Channel 5 News in Mexico, it's on the 6 o'clock news, right?
Wow.
And it's not ridiculed, right?
So it's a totally different climate over there.
Totally, yeah.
So what are the hottest spots for UFOs to be seen in the world?
In the world? Well, good question. In the United States right now, a hot spot's Texas. Okay. It has been for the last several months. Mexico's always another hot spot.
Yeah.
Right here in Ontario.
Ontario
is probably the leading province for UFO sightings and has been for at least 4 or 5 years now, straight.
Now, is this because these places need it more, James? Is this because we're,
I think it's the geography and the resonance frequency. I keep on saying resonance because of this film, but that's cool. That's, okay, so if you're in BC and you got mountains, when you look up in the sky, you're going to have a lot of obscuration of the sky because of the mountains.
Right, yeah.
In Ontario, like you said, if you go to Peterborough, right, you stand on a lake and you got 360 view, right? And you can see more, right? So that could be, BC probably has a lot of UFO sightings too, but it's
I'd
obscured
imagine.
with the mountains. So it's only segregated to a certain few that see them in that certain area.
Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
But Ontario, due to the resonance or the frequency of the people here, I think there's a lot more UFOs coming. Right?
Interesting. Interesting. Shall we take a look at the film clip and then bring on Dr.
Do you wanna
Hannah
do that
Marconi?
now?
Yeah. Are we good to
James,
do that?
you ready to do that?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Let's open it up.
Meanwhile, people can look you up, the UFOria Chronicles, James, on YouTube and Facebook, right?
Cool. All right.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Is
So
that
they
where we
can
are right
connect
now?
with you there? No.
Yeah.
I almost had some footage of the Nazi Hanabu flight test, but somebody's taken it down from the internet.
Okay,
They
that
don't want
means
the
they
truth to get
knew
out.
we were
That's
on
YouTube,
to
see?
them.
I
YouTube.
know. So yeah, let's. We got the clip ready to go, and what's this clip now?
This is a clip. I think we're going to be showing the Grant Cameron clip,
Nice.
which is an amazing clip. It's really a heads up and a warning to people. He talks about the screen. He talks about the screen and a very serious message that we are being given to basically wake up, to your point, James, to wake up. And Grant Cameron has been doing this forever. He's one of the most respected researchers in this field.
And we should say just before we go, so the film The Resonance is coming out. There's going to be a premiere in Toronto
At November 21st,
Yeah.
JJR McLeod
at the
Auditorium, UFT.
And then worldwide release after that.
Yes.
And
And you
then,
can buy
then-
it on Vimeo and online.
I just got my tickets today, by the way.
You did.
I just paid today.
And we're going to
I'll
be
be there.
live streaming it too. So for people who want to go to the website modernknowledge.ca, and you can take a look at all the speakers who are there, who will be in the show, and also to buy tickets and for live streaming for people who want to watch it. And the live streaming can still ask questions for the Q&A afterwards as well. That you still take
Fantastic.
part in that.
So it is modernknowledge.ca to get tickets in that.
And thank you, Modern Knowledge,
we're
for helping us
We're
out
going to
on
come back with Lana
this.
Marconi and Victor Vigiani, who
Yes.
are the creators of the film, right?
Yes.
So it's awesome. Here on Liquid Launch, thatchannel.com. We'll be right back.
They appear, so the message there is nuclear weapons, but the message is now turned to the environment. Almost everybody who is an experiencer who has been on the ship, when you get to that, is shown the screen, what's called the screen. And on the screen, they show the destruction of the Earth. They show big, huge tidal waves. They show environmental devastation. They show the world blowing up. And I believe that what they're trying to do is they're trying to tell us you have the world at the edge of a cliff, and you have to stop it. You have to quit cutting the leaves off the tree, the branches off the tree, because eventually there's going to be no branches left on the tree, and the tree is going to die. And they're giving us a warning about how we're treating the world. And that comes out in particularly in a song by Neil Young, who wrote a song in 1968, which talks about, it's called After the Gold Rush. And the theme of the song is that we're treating the world like a gold rush. And when the gold is gone, the UFOs are going to come, and they're going to pick up the chosen ones and take them to another planet. And if you listen to experiencers, they will all talk about this cataclysm, the fact that a number of them have told me that they will be taken. There's going to be this rapture type event, and they believe this is going to happen, that the world is going to be separated and people are going to be taken.